There's a nice little bit, nice little picker. G'day guys, Mitch here from Speedy's Prospecting. I hope you're all doing well. Mind the face mask. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you've been here before, well, thanks for coming back. Today I'm in Beechworth and I've come back to an area that I'd prospected quite a few months ago before COVID-19 came into effect. Now, I've decided to come back here. The place proved to show some decent signs of some chunky gold. I'm just going to do a couple of test pans up and down the creek and hopefully I'll find a little bit of an area that I can do some high banking. As you can see here, there's a nice little stream here. The creek just follows on like this up to a nice little cascading waterfall, which is pretty nice. So guys, let's get into it. The gold isn't going to find itself, so I think we'll just take a couple of pans from a couple of different spots, see what colours are showing up, and we'll make a plan of attack from there, I think. So this material here, it's got a lot more clay in it, a lot more jagged rocks. Reedy Creek, where I've been going a fair bit lately, everything's a lot more water worn and the gold there is a lot smoother because it's travelled down the creek and been smoothed over its course of its journey. The gold that I found here last time was chunky and jagged, which shows that the gold hasn't travelled a far distance to get to where I've managed to find it. So in that pan, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it too well, but I got one decent speck. And there's about 4 other nano dots. So we'll keep on looking, I think. So, third pan in. And there I've got about 4 or 5 specks of gold. They're a little bit bigger than what I had last pan. This here is the gold that I pulled out so far. Only a couple of specks, nothing big in there. So guys, I've decided to give up on the test panning idea for now, and I've just come back to a spot that I have found gold in the past before. As you can see, there's a bit of a bedrock shelf down here, and there's a bit of a hole here, pretty deep, And down underneath there's a bit of a sediment clay layer in between some of the cracks in the bedrock, so I'm just going to give that a bit of a scrape out, and I'll use my yabby pump to suck out the material and pan it out. I can't really see what I'm doing here, so I'm just going in a bit blind, but just follow the cracks and loosen up some of the material in there and suck it up and give it a pan. Got my yabby pump. So I'll use my crevice pump and get right up in the cracks and pull out the material. Go give this a little bit of pan out. Not a lot of depth in here to pan with, but we'll make do. There's no promises of gold yet, but we shall see. So there were 2 flecks of gold in that, not very big. One there, and there's his mate. So we'll go ahead and suck those bad boys up. 1, 2, and we'll keep going. We're sort of moving some of the bigger rocks as I go. Make a bit of room. There is a lot of clay and silty material coming out of in between the rocks, so there should be gold in amongst it. So it's about that deep there. Just pulled out the loose material here, so we'll go see how it pans out. So nothing in that pan. So after not having much luck downstream in those crevices, I've decided to come back upstream, and I've taken a few test pans from just this section of the creek. It looks like there's a bit of a bench deposit just running along here. So I'm getting about 10 specks per pan at the moment. It's small gold, nothing real chunky, but I thought I've got the Highbanker here, so I might set it up and yeah, might see if we can get a bit of a gold take for the day. So we'll go and set up the Highbanker in here and yeah, we'll get started. So as you can see, I've set the Highbanker up in this deeper section of the hole that someone's already dug, so that my tailings will fill up this hole as to not disturb the ground as much and try and return it back to how it was. Okay, let's start digging. So I've been running the sluice for about half an hour, and yeah, I'm getting a bit tired now, so I'm going to do a bit of a clean up, pack up and start heading home. Okay guys, we'll pull the mats out, we'll get the concentrates into the pans, and we'll give it a pan down, and yeah, we'll see what kind of gold, if any, we've pulled out of the hole here. Clean out the miner's moss. There you go. There's some gold showing there. A lot of flower gold. A couple of chunkier little bits. So after doing that clean up and seeing the gold that was in the pan, I've decided I'm not actually that tired to go home yet. So I'm going to keep going. So this here is cleanup number 2. We'll go ahead and pan him down, see what kind of gold we've ended up with. This is probably about 15 or 20 minutes worth. Just out of that same area. I can already see some finds appearing at the top of the pan. So that's a good sign. Couple of decent bits showing up on the sides here already. Yeah, this is a good cleanup. I'm happy with this. Happy with it already. Yeah, wow. There's some nice chunky bits there. I'm really happy with that. Just get a little bit of water in there and I'll get rid of these couple of rocks. But wow, look at that. Get a little bit more water on there and splash it around. There's a couple of pickers in that, for sure. Look at that. It's a nice little chunky bit there. So I'm going to go ahead and do cleanup number 3, just to see if we're still on the same chunky gold that we were pulling out before. With a bit of luck, we are, but we'll see. clean out the miner's moss. So now that I've seen the chunky gold that was coming out, I might be a little bit disappointed if there's none of that in this pan. Okay, there's a little bit of gold showing up in the corners now. Haven't seen any chunky stuff yet. That's alright. We'll pan it down a little more. So there's some nice gold there again. Two nice chunks. And some smaller stuff as well. But we're still on it. So we'll keep on going, I think. So this area here is where I've been digging mostly. So we'll continue on with here, and yeah, we'll see what else we can dig out. So I'll show you guys now the gold that I ended up with for today. There it is, guys. Look at that colour. That's a nice ring of colour. It's safe to say that would have to be the best day out on the creek that Speedy's prospecting has had. I'm very happy with that. Just goes to show I wasn't finding much gold earlier this morning, but you just got to be a bit persistent, and it pays off in the long run. There's a nice little bit, nice little picker. So guys, there you have it, another episode of Speedy's Prospecting. Probably the best gold take for Speedy's prospecting to date. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, stay safe and I'll see you soon.